What's up, guys? Welcome back to Crew Outdoors. On this week's episode, we're actually out here doing something that I think no archery hunter ever wants to admit that they have to do, but right now we're actually out here in the mountains of Utah, and last night while me and my dad were deer hunting, we shot a deer in the guts. Now, gut shot deer is, I don't know, I think it happens to every archery hunter, but if you archery hunt long enough, you're going to experience this kind of problem. So today we're going to be talking about exactly how to trail a gut shot deer. As you can see, it's the morning, and as I mentioned, we shot it last night, right before last light. It was about 40 degrees last night, no rain or anything, so just super cold, which is exactly what you want. So we're starting off good, optimistic to start out with. We've reviewed the footage a few different times, and I don't know, it could go either way, but we're gonna have an open mind, and we're going to get out here and try and track this deer. So we'll bring you along and give you any tips or tricks that we have to track a gut shot deer. Okay? Alright, guys, so very first what you want to do is find the arrow. Right here we've got the arrow, and if it'll focus, as you can see, it's just covered in green. So it's just stomach contents all over the arrow. So immediately we knew, and there's not really a whole ton of blood. However, we did find blood in a couple places on the ground, but yeah, just chock full of green, grainy stomach contents. So there was our number one giveaway. So yep, make sure you guys go pick up the arrow, and that'll tell you a lot about where the hit was and things like that if you don't have a camera rolling, if you can't get footage of that. But just how the arrow looks will be a big giveaway and be able to help you a lot. So yeah, like I said, just green, grainy, really not ideal at all. So we are gonna move forward, and now that we've found our arrow, we're gonna start on the little bit of blood we found last night, and yep, get going. Alright, guys, so right here on this trail we've got our first speck of blood. And just as we're walking down this trail, because we know the trail that the deer went on, there's a pretty laid out game trail. But it's super important while you're looking for blood that you don't step right on the trail, because you don't want to step where the deer walked, because you could be smothering blood or things like that. You could be stepping on leaves, because that's really what you're looking for, is you're looking for specks of blood on leaf. So right here we've got some blood from last night. Now it's kind of dried because it's from last night, but that right there is actually a speck of blood. So that's exactly what you're looking for. And just a reminder, we waited over 12 hours to let this deer expire, because with these gut shot animals, you really got to give them time. Right here we've got another speck of blood on this rock. Right there, as you can see. So that's really all we're looking for. It's just little specks like that. So yeah, looks like we've got some more up ahead. So we'll come show you that. But yeah, right here is a perfect example. So right here we've got just a little droplet right there on that leaf. So that's pretty much right on the trail. And we've got some more on the rocks and leaves right here. So again, it's super important that you don't step on the trail. You step to the side of it while you're walking. Otherwise, you just step on that and cover it up and you never see it. So, yep, right there is a perfect example of what you're looking for. So, yep, pretty much just looking on the twigs, looking on the leaves, and these nice bright yellow leaves really help a lot, because the blood will really stand out on them, just like on a white canvas. So yeah, that's pretty much all we're looking for. But we last night, right after we shot it, we weren't sure about the hit. It kind of could have gone either way, so we walked over here to look for the arrow, and we actually bumped it. It had only gone about 25 yards from where we shot it, and it was actually bedded down right there, which totally sucks. That was a complete rookie move. As soon as we weren't sure about the hit, we should have just backed out. That's the only thing you can do. Because best case scenario, that deer would have just stayed right there, bedded down, expired overnight, and we wouldn't have to be tracking it at all. So you really got to make sure that if you shoot one and you're not sure about the shot, you just gotta back out right then and come back in the morning. It'll be totally worth it. Because right now we know kind of where it ran off, and we're not 100% sure. It could have gone a mile. It could have gone 100 yards. So another thing I want to talk about really quick is everybody seems to say that deer after they're hit, especially in the guts, are going to run straight downhill. They're not going to want to go uphill. They're going to want to go downhill. Now, we found the complete opposite on many occasions, especially with a pump of adrenaline from being shot. A deer's just going to do whatever, and a lot of times that means running uphill to get away from you, because that's exactly what this deer did, and we've had deer in the past do the same. So this deer, we shot it, and it ran straight uphill, and then it bedded down a little bit. We bumped it. It ran straight uphill again. It was never going downhill. So maybe long term it'll go downhill, and after you give it a few hours and it doesn't feel good. But right off the bat, you can almost count on it running straight uphill just from all that adrenaline. So that's just something to note when tracking the deer. Because if you're looking for a blood trail, you don't know where it went, or you're in thick stuff, a lot of times they actually won't run downhill at first. So just something to think about while you're trying to find blood. But like I said, we've got blood right here, blood right here. My dad's up there looking for more blood, so we're going to continue going, and we will keep you guys posted on what we find. Hopefully it stays pretty steady and we find a good amount of blood. So, all right, let's go. There you go, there's a bit more. Here's the terrain we're dealing with. So this deer just kind of side-hilled it and ran straight uphill. So it didn't really look like she was focused on going down. So that's kind of where we're headed, but we've got some on this fallen log right here, as you can see. So yeah, pretty steady so far. We're gonna keep going. Alright guys, so now that we're getting into the thick stuff and the timber gets a little bit thicker and we're starting to have a hard time finding blood, we always bring paracord. Paracord has a million uses, and we always buy it in orange. You can buy orange paracord just about anywhere, specifically for this reason. So what we'll do is, as we're hiking through this thick stuff, we'll just use paracord and tie it on a tree, as you can see right here, and we'll tie it on the tree at the last spot we found the blood. So we're just using it as a marker, which a lot of times is super helpful because you can look back and see multiple markers and remember exactly where it came from. Or if you go off a little ways and are having trouble finding any blood, you can come back and kind of retrace your steps and try again. But yeah, just like that. Just some of that neon orange paracord does the trick and helps you to mark the blood trail. So, yep, we're just kind of looking for more blood. The last blood we found right now is just right on this leaf right here, so if you guys can see that. So right there. Yeah. So yep, that's the last blood right now, and we're just gonna kinda keep hiking down this game trail. And hopefully we find some more. Alright guys, this is exactly what you do not really want to find. Right here. We have a piece of guts. So that's got to be intestine or something like that. Just came right at the wound. So we're on blood. We've got a little bit more right down there. Let's see. So right on that leaf tip, if you can see that. But yeah, so just got a little piece of dried guts right there, covered in blood, right on the trail, just going straight uphill. So yep. We're going to keep going, but not ideal. Alright guys, so we're hiking up this hill on the blood trail, and just really quick I thought I'd say, although you don't want to step on the trail, that's super important. You want to step to the side of it, but you also want to always have blood in front of you. So you don't step in front of the blood. You stay back and you look forward to find the blood. Because if you get ahead of the blood, you could easily go on a wrong path, make a wrong turn, and you're completely off the blood trail at that point. So it's super important that you keep the blood in front of you. Always stay back. If you can't find blood, just like get on your knees, sit down, and just look in front of you. Look closely at leaves and try and find some. But yeah, so we're kind of there right now, and we're still finding a good amount of blood, just little drops like that about every few feet. So I don't know, not awesome, but enough to follow. So we're gonna keep going down the trail, but it's just steep, and we're just kind of going at an angle right there, and yeah, so fingers crossed. So still finding good blood. There's a little more right here. Let's see where that just comes up. Alright guys, so this is actually super confusing because there's two paths that it could take right now. It could go down or it could go up. And it was, I don't know, it's been about 100 yards from where it was shot. And we've got some blood right down here by my feet, leading what looks like down. But in reality, there's also a bunch of blood over there. So if we would have just stayed on this path, we could have totally gone off and been off the wrong, or been on the wrong trail. But right here, we've got some blood going up. So it looks like some just squirted down here. So we're gonna start heading uphill, because that looks like that's where it's going. So right here we've got some, if you can see that, right in there. So yep. Keep going uphill. Okay guys, so really quick, just in this spot where I was just talking about how it's kind of confusing if it went up or down, one thing you can do, if you're not sure, is start looking in like a spiral. So you're kind of going in a circle, looking to see where it ends, just until you're sure which direction it's going, just until you find more blood. So, and it's getting a little weird because, like I said, everyone says that they always run downhill, but she's consistently moving uphill, so you never really know. I mean, like I said, could be a mile, could be 100 yards, could be however far. Never ever just think, I hit it in the gut, so it's going to go downhill, so I'm going to go look downhill first. Almost never has that been the case, so yep, getting pretty steep, but we're going to keep going, so wish us luck. Alright guys, so really quick, I just wanted to talk about, so we've got a little speck of blood right there, but I just wanted to talk about how it's super important that you don't get tunnel vision, that you don't just get focused on one little path and only look there for blood. At any point, the deer can run to the right or to the left or change course. So it's super important that you're keeping your eyes open, looking all around. And as you can see, guys, it's paid off. There we have our deer right there. It's about 300 or 400 yards from where we shot it. We've just been tracking it. It's gone straight uphill. It never went downhill, not even once. And looks like it bedded down right there. And it was the perfect move to back out last night and give it about 12 or 13 hours. And as you can see, all the hard work tracking it, and she's done right there. Our gut shot deer is right there. Alright guys, so as we're walking up on this deer, one thing you really want to make sure you do is make sure that you check that it's dead. One big giveaway is if you look at those eyes, if the eyes are open and it's laying down, generally that means that it's expired, that means that it's dead. However, if the eyes are closed, then a lot of times that means that the deer is actually still alive and that it's just bedded. So One thing to keep in mind as you approach that deer, you don't want it jumping up or anything like that, but as you can see, it's been not too far, like I said, 300 or 400 yards, and we managed to find this deer just by using all those simple tricks and looking at the leaves, looking at the trees, looking at our surroundings. And if you just play it slow and give it 12, 13 hours after you shoot it, that really does make such a huge difference.
At least.
Yeah, at least. I mean, you could give it up to a day, but yeah, so.
Fortunately for us, it was cold last night.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was about 40 degrees last night, so we had peace of mind as if the deer did die last night that the meat wouldn't spoil. And lucky for us, we've got our reward right here. All the hard work practicing and now tracking this deer is going to be worth it, as we're going to be able to feed our family. So
Hopefully the coyotes didn't get her.
yeah, there's a lot of coyotes in this area, so we were a little bit worried, but she looks to be fine. So yeah, perfect. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Kerr Outdoors. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go subscribe. And as you can see, if you guys are in any kind of need to track a gut shot deer, this is exactly how you should do it. This method has worked before, and this is the method we'll continue to use. So yeah, all right, well.
The best thing is not to gut shoot your deer.
Yeah, also true. Or just shot placement. That also works. That's the best way to not have to do this. But yeah, okay, perfect. Make sure you guys go drop a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you guys thought about this video, if you guys have any other kind of tips or anything like that. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna get to work butchering this deer, 2020 archery mule deer, and yeah, we'll get on our way. Okay, thanks for watching.